Think you have trouble sleeping? Oh, sweet summer child, forget your lumpy mattress, your noisy neighbor blasting music at 2 a.m., or that existential dread that hits right when your head touches the pillow. Picture this: waking up every single night with actual rats using your face as a highway. Imagine sharing your bed with 5 strangers who smell like they've been marinating in a medieval gym sock for 3 months. Imagine discovering your pillow is literally alive with tiny creatures. And that's considered totally normal. Welcome to the Middle Ages, where a good night's sleep was about as rare as a unicorn wearing sneakers. And trust me, this is just the appetizer in this feast of nighttime nightmares you're about to discover. Buckle up, time traveler, because we're about to take the most uncomfortable journey of your life. Turn off those lights. Grab that cozy blanket. Fluff up that memory foam pillow. Because for the next while, you're going to discover what it was really like trying to catch some Z's when the world was a much, much weirder place. This is your medieval lullaby, a bedtime story that'll make you appreciate every thread in your Egyptian cotton sheets. And hey, if you enjoy this delightfully bizarre historical deep dive, hit that subscribe button. But only if you're ready for more stories that'll make you question everything you thought you knew about the good old days. Ding ding! Time machine arrives. You open your eyes in the year 1250 AD. It's about 10 p.m., which you'll quickly learn means absolutely nothing here because time is more of a general suggestion than an actual concept. Your bed? Oh, honey, forget that Tempur-Pedic with cooling gel technology and adjustable firmness settings. You're now lying on what's basically a giant bag of hay. Yes, hay. The same stuff you'd throw on a barn floor for horses to stand on. But wait, there's more. This hay hasn't been changed in approximately 3 months. It's soaked with sweat, mysterious liquids we won't name, and has developed its own ecosystem. The smell is like if a barn had a baby with a gym locker room after a marathon. Your pillow? It's a cloth sack stuffed with goose feathers that have never, ever been washed. Between those feathers live tiny tenants who pay rent in the form of keeping you awake. Mites, lice, and occasionally small beetles that sound like tiny maracas when you move your head. Every time you shift positions, the hay makes a sound like someone eating the world's largest bowl of cereal. Crunch, crunch, crunch. And that's just you trying to find a comfortable spot for your elbow. Your blanket weighs approximately 11 pounds and is made of wool so rough it could be used as medieval sandpaper. It itches. Oh boy, does it itch. But it's either that or turn into a human popsicle, because central heating won't be invented for about 600 years. And then you feel something moving next to you. Plot twist. It's not a mouse. It's a person. Actually, make that several people. Welcome to medieval privacy settings. None whatsoever. You're sharing your bed with your spouse, 2 small children who apparently practice kickboxing in their sleep, possibly your mother-in-law, and if it's your lucky day, only 3 random travelers who needed a place to crash. Everyone sleeps in the same bed. Everyone. The concept of personal space hasn't been invented yet. If you're a family of 6, you're basically playing the world's most uncomfortable game of human Tetris every night. Picture trying to sleep while wedged between your 8-year-old's pointy elbow and the thunderous snoring of that guy who showed up at your door this afternoon asking for shelter. The body heat is suffocating in summer and pathetically inadequate in winter. And when someone needs to use the bathroom in the middle of the night, well, let's just say the term bathroom is very generous here. Before climbing into this communal hay pile, you need to prepare for sleep medieval style. Brush your teeth. With what brush, exactly? Your best bet is chewing on a stick until it turns into natural bristles, or rubbing your teeth with a dirty cloth. Toothpaste consists of whatever herbs you can find, chewed into a gross paste in your mouth. Your breath could literally knock out a horse from 50 feet away. But that's okay. Everyone has dragon breath here, so nobody's judging. Change into pajamas? What a revolutionary concept that would be. You sleep in the exact same clothes you wore all day, the same clothes you wore yesterday, the same clothes you've been wearing for 2 weeks straight. This linen or rough wool outfit has basically become one with your body through dried sweat. It has stains from food, mud, and other bodily fluids that we'll pretend don't exist for the sake of everyone's appetite. Here's where it gets really weird. You don't sleep through the night like a normal person. Oh no, that would be far too simple. In the Middle Ages, there's something called first sleep and second sleep. You sleep for a few hours, then naturally wake up around midnight. Stay awake for 1 or 2 hours doing various activities, chatting, praying, or just staring into the void like a medieval philosopher. During this midnight intermission, couples get romantic, if you know what I mean. People say extra prayers, or just lie there contemplating whether that weird noise was a rat or a demon. Some folks even get up to do small chores in complete darkness, because apparently medieval people were overachievers even at 2 a.m. After this bizarre middle-of-the-night break, you go back to sleep until dawn. This split sleep pattern is completely normal. Nobody sleeps 8 straight hours like you're used to. Throughout this whole process, you're serenaded by the sounds of medieval nightlife. Rats having parties in the walls, cats having territorial disputes in the yard, people coughing in neighboring rooms, and cold wind whistling through the window that has no glass. That's assuming you can hear anything over the collective snoring orchestra happening in your shared bed. And speaking of demons, sleeping in the Middle Ages isn't just uncomfortable, it's literally haunted. You genuinely, 100% believe that nighttime belongs to demons. Not metaphorically. You really, truly believe that as soon as the sun goes down, supernatural creatures start their night shift around your house. Every strange noise is an evil spirit. Every moving shadow is a demon trying to steal your soul. Every nightmare is an actual visit from the devil himself. That's why you pray. A lot. Before sleep, you recite at least 15 different prayers. Make the sign of the cross about 20 times, and keep holy water next to your bed like it's a medieval security system. Some people hang garlic around the room. Others draw crosses on the walls with charcoal. The really paranoid ones sleep with tiny crucifixes around their necks that leave permanent marks on their skin. And then there are the dreams. Without Netflix to binge, books to read, or smartphones to scroll through before bed, your mind is free to create the most vivid terrors imaginable. You dream about being chased by giant wolves through dark forests. These wolves have glowing red eyes and teeth the size of kitchen knives. You run and run and run, but your feet sink into mud like you're running through pudding. The wolves get closer, and you can feel their hot breath on your neck. When they finally catch you, you wake up at the exact moment their fangs touch your skin. Your heart pounds so hard, you're sure the other people in bed can hear it like a medieval drum solo. Sometimes you dream that you're being personally judged by God. He appears as a giant man with a white beard, sitting on a throne made of clouds, flipping through an enormous book where all your sins are written in fancy medieval handwriting. In the dream, you try to defend yourself, but your voice comes out as a whisper. God points his finger at you, and your soul starts getting pulled by tiny, hairy demons who look like angry hamsters. You wake up in a cold sweat, absolutely convinced this was a divine preview of your eternal destiny. But not all dreams are nightmares. Sometimes you dream about flying over endless green fields, feeling a freedom you never experience while awake. The wind hits your face, and you float like a bird above trees and rivers. These flying dreams are interpreted as signs that your soul is practicing for its final journey to heaven. You wake up feeling spiritually enlightened and slightly dizzy. Or you dream about having conversations with family members who have passed away. They appear exactly as you remember them, but with a soft glow around their bodies like they're wearing medieval mood lighting. They give you advice, tell you about the afterlife, and assure you they're doing great and saving you a spot in the eternal after-party. You wake up feeling homesick for people and places you've never seen. In the Middle Ages, dreams aren't just random brain activity. They're direct messages from God, warnings from saints, or attacks from demons running their night shift. Every morning you analyze every detail of your dreams, looking for hidden meanings. If you dreamed about water, maybe it's going to rain. If you dreamed about fire, perhaps someone in the family will get sick. You share your dreams with other people, and everyone offers different interpretations. Dreams become part of daily conversation, like news from a parallel universe. But let's talk about the real residents of your medieval bed. The creatures. Lice. Industrial quantities of lice. Everyone has lice. Rich people, poor people, nobles, peasants. Having lice is as normal as having hair. You spend part of your day picking lice off yourself and your family members like it's a social bonding activity. These lice don't just live in your hair. They set up entire neighborhoods in the seams of your clothes, in the hay mattress, in the feather pillow. They build tiny condos and lay eggs everywhere. At night, while you sleep, they throw parties on your scalp. You feel constant itching, but scratching only makes it worse. Your fingers end up covered with the blood of little bugs you accidentally squish. Fleas! Oh, medieval fleas deserve their own chapter in the history of human discomfort. They jump from person to person like tiny acrobats with a serious blood addiction. You're almost asleep when you feel a little bite on your leg. Then another on your arm. Another on your neck. You move, you scratch, but you just wake up more fleas that were sleeping peacefully in the hay. Soon, you have 15 different fleas having an all-you-can-eat buffet on your blood. Each one leaves a red mark that itches for 3 days and makes you look like you have medieval chicken pox. And the bed bugs. These are the worst. They live in the cracks of the wooden bed frame and only come out at night to feed. You don't see them, but you feel their bites in organized rows across your body. You wake up in the morning with arms and legs covered in small red swollen spots. It looks like someone used you as target practice for a tiny dart game during the night. But the absolute worst aren't the lice, fleas, or bed bugs. The worst are the rats. Rats the size of hamsters run through the house all night looking for food. They run over you while you sleep, stop to nibble a bit of your hair, pee on your blanket, and then continue their midnight adventure. Sometimes you wake up with tiny tooth marks on your toes. The rats confused your little piggies with pieces of cheese in the dark, and you accept all of this as a completely normal part of life. Because what choice do you have? Medieval winter is its own category of suffering. Your house has zero insulation. The walls are stone or wood, with holes where wind passes through like it's paying rent. The window has no glass, just an opening covered with cloth or wood. At night, the temperature inside your house is basically the same as outside. If it's snowing, You feel snowflakes coming through the gaps and melting in your bed like nature's worst surprise. You sleep wearing every piece of clothing you own. Pants, tunic, cloak, hood. You look like you're going skiing, but you're actually just trying not to die of hypothermia while sleeping. Even so, you freeze. Your hands and feet go numb. You curl up in fetal position trying to conserve heat, but the wool blanket soaked with moisture sticks to your skin like a second layer of ice. The medieval solution to cold? Sleep with animals. That's right. Your cow, your chickens, sometimes even your pig, share the house space with you during winter. The body heat from animals helps warm the environment. You fall asleep listening to the soft mooing of your cow 3 meters away and the occasional clucking of chickens trying to sleep in the same room as you. The smell is indescribable. Imagine a barn that's been closed for 3 months mixed with human sweat, and you'll have a vague idea of the aromatic experience. But summer isn't easy either. Without proper ventilation, heat gets trapped inside the house like a stone oven. You sweat gallons during the night, but can't take off much clothing because that would be inappropriate. The haybed gets soaked with sweat and develops a sour smell that penetrates your nostrils. Flies and mosquitoes have a field day on your sweaty body throughout the dawn. You wake up in the morning with your body sticking to your clothes, greasy hair glued to your forehead, and small bite marks from insects all over. And even so, these are normal conditions. Everyone sleeps like this. Nobody complains because there's no other option. Sleeping in the Middle Ages isn't just lying down and closing your eyes. It's a complex ritual full of superstitions that can save or damn your soul. First, you can never sleep with your feet pointing toward the door. This makes it easier for your soul to leave your body during sleep, and it might get lost trying to come back. Second, always sleep on your right side. Sleeping on your left side is sleeping on the devil's side, and you might wake up possessed. Third, never sleep completely on your stomach. In this position, you're vulnerable to incubus demons who might take advantage of you during the night. Before sleep, you perform a sequence of specific prayers. First, the Our Father 3 times. Then, Hail Mary 5 times. Then a prayer for each saint you consider important for your protection. Saint George, to protect you from night dragons. Saint Agatha, to protect against nightmares. Saint Michael the Archangel, to fight demons. The list is long and changes, depending on what was your biggest fear of the day. After prayers, you make the sign of the cross on your forehead, chest, each shoulder, and sometimes draw invisible crosses in the air above the bed. Some put salt in the 4 corners of the room to form a barrier against evil spirits. Others keep cold iron under the pillow because demons are allergic to metal. And then there are the amulets, small leather pouches hanging around your neck with garlic cloves, blessed herbs, pieces of saint bones, or small stones found in sacred places. These amulets bounce on your chest during the night, leaving marks on your skin and sometimes causing rashes, but you never take them off. Your spiritual life depends on them. If you wake up and discover the amulet moved during sleep, it's a sign that evil spirits tried to remove it. You need to pray even more the next day. During the first sleep, many people take advantage to say more silent prayers. It's considered an especially sacred time, when God is more willing to hear requests and forgive sins. You lie in the dark, whispering low prayers so as not to wake whoever is sleeping next to you, asking for protection for the rest of the night and the next day. But perhaps the worst aspect of sleeping in the Middle Ages are the diseases that appear during the night. You wake up with unexplained fevers. Your body burns inside, but you sweat cold. There's no thermometer to measure, no medicine to take. You just hope it passes by morning. Splitting headaches that always start at 3 in the morning. It feels like someone is hammering your skull from the inside. You press your temples with your fingers, but it doesn't help at all. Stomach aches that make you writhe in the hay. Your stomach makes strange noises, like there's a wild animal trapped inside trying to get out. And then there's the medieval night cough. A dry, persistent cough that prevents you from sleeping and wakes up everyone in the shared bed. You cough, cough, cough until you taste blood in your mouth. There's no cough syrup, no throat lozenges, no air humidifier. You drink cold water that only worsens the throat irritation, or suck pieces of honey when you can find it. The other people in bed start complaining. Your child kicks you during sleep because the cough doesn't let anyone rest. Your spouse moves as far away as possible, afraid of catching something, but perhaps the strangest are the episodes of night suffocation that happen without explanation. You're sleeping peacefully when suddenly you wake up with a terrible feeling that something is pressing your chest. You can't breathe, can't move, but you're completely conscious. Today we know this is called sleep paralysis. But in the Middle Ages, you're certain a demon is sitting on your chest trying to steal your soul. You try to scream, but no sound comes out. You try to move, but your body doesn't respond. You stay there, terrified, for several minutes until you can move again. When you finally can move, you wake everyone up screaming and telling them you were attacked by evil spirits during sleep. Everyone believes you, because everyone has experienced the same thing. Medieval dreams are their own category of bizarre experience. Without television, fiction books, or movies, your nighttime imagination is fed only by stories you hear at church, local legends, and your deepest fears. You dream about being personally judged by God. He appears as a giant man with a white beard, sitting on a cloud throne, leafing through a huge book where all your sins are written. In the dream, you try to justify yourself, but your voice comes out as a whisper. God points his finger at you, and your soul starts being pulled by small, hairy demons. You wake up sweating cold, absolutely certain this was a divine warning about your eternal destiny. Or you dream about being chased by giant wolves in a dark forest. These wolves have red eyes that glow in the dark and teeth the size of daggers. You run, 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 but your feet sink in mud as if you're running in molasses. The wolves approach, and you can feel their hot breath on your neck. When they finally reach you, you wake up at the exact moment their fangs touch your skin. Your heart beats so hard, you're sure other people in bed can hear it. But not all dreams are nightmares. Sometimes you dream about flying over infinite green fields, feeling a freedom you never experience awake. The wind hits your face, and you float like a bird above trees. These flying dreams are interpreted as signs that your soul is practicing for the final journey to heaven. You wake up happy and spiritualized. Or you dream about talking to relatives who have already departed this life. They appear exactly as you remember, but with a soft light around their body. They give you advice, tell you about the beyond, assure you they're fine and waiting for you. You wake up homesick, but also with a sense of peace. Waking up in the Middle Ages isn't like waking up today. There's no alarm clock, so you wake up naturally when the sun rises. Or when the neighbor's rooster decides to sing, or when someone in your shared bed moves and wakes everyone up in the process. You open your eyes, and the first sensation is pain throughout your entire body. Sleeping on hay for 8 hours leaves you with back pain that will last all day. Your hips hurt like you fell downstairs. You move slowly, trying not to disturb other people, but the hay makes noise with every movement. Someone grumbles softly, asking you to be quiet. Your clothes are completely wrinkled and stuck to your body. The rough fabric left red marks on your skin where it pressed during the night. You have strange creases on your face from sleeping in uncomfortable positions. Your hair is stuck with dried sweat and oiliness. You run your hand through it and feel small debris from the hay tangled between the strands. Some lice take the opportunity to jump from your head to your hand. Your mouth has a terrible taste, a mixture of morning breath with remains of yesterday's food stuck to your teeth. Your tongue is pasty, and you feel like you need to spit. But the first morning ritual isn't cleaning yourself. It's giving thanks. You make the sign of the cross and whisper a prayer of gratitude for having survived another night. Because in the Middle Ages, waking up alive is already a victory against the forces of evil that prowl during darkness. You thank for your soul not being stolen by demons. You thank for not dying of cold during the dawn. You thank for not being visited by plague during sleep. Only after this do you get up slowly, trying not to wake those still sleeping. You step on the cold dirt floor with bare feet. Small stones and debris stick to the soles of your feet. You walk to the glassless window to see what the day looks like outside. The first sunlight coming through the opening is beautiful, but it also reveals all the dirt accumulated in the room during the night. You see small dots of rat poop scattered on the floor, feathers from the pillow that came out during sleep, and indefinable stains on the wall. But all this is normal. This is how everyone has woken up for centuries. Of course, not everyone sleeps the same in the Middle Ages. There's a hierarchy of nighttime comfort. If you're a peasant, you sleep on hay on a dirt floor, share space with animals, and hope not to die of cold during winter. If you're a craftsman in cities, maybe you have a simple wooden bed elevated from the floor, a slightly cleaner hay mattress, and a wool blanket without so many holes. But if you're a noble, then things get interesting. Nobles sleep in enormous beds with curtains around them. These curtains aren't just decoration. They create a small, isolated environment within the room, warmer and with fewer insects. A noble's bed might have a mattress of swan feathers instead of common hay. The blankets are imported silk, or specially treated sheep wool. The pillows are stuffed with feathers from the softest birds. But even so, they still share the bed. A medieval lord doesn't sleep alone. He sleeps with his wife, children, sometimes trusted servants, and important guests. The difference is that in a noble bed, 10 people fit comfortably, while in a peasant bed, 5 people is already overcrowded. Nobles also have more elaborate nighttime rituals. They are undressed by servants, who check each piece of clothing looking for fleas and lice before storing. They take sponge baths with warm water scented with herbs. A servant brushes their hair with natural bristle brushes, removing debris and some parasites. Another servant warms the bed by placing hot stones wrapped in cloth between the sheets. They pray more sophisticated prayers, sometimes with a private priest who comes to bless them before sleep. They use amulets made with gold and precious stones instead of cloth bags. But even with all this relative luxury, nobles still wake up with flea bites. They still have lice. They still share space with rats. They still get cold in winter and hot in summer. The difference is they have servants to take care of problems the next day, while peasants have to solve everything themselves. And all, absolutely all, rich and poor, sleep afraid of night demons and wake up grateful to be alive. Medieval sleep changes drastically with seasons, in a way you today can't even imagine. In winter, you go to sleep when the sun sets, around 5 in the afternoon. Not because you're sleepy, but because there's no light to do anything else. Candles are expensive, and oil for lamps is even more expensive. So you spend 14 hours in bed. 14 hours. But you don't sleep 14 straight hours. You sleep some hours, wake up, stay awake in the dark for a while, sleep a little more, wake up again. During these periods awake in the middle of total darkness, you have nothing to do but think, pray, or whisper low conversations with whoever is beside you. In summer, the opposite happens. The sun only sets at 9 at night, so you work until later. You go to sleep around 10 and wake up at 5 in the morning when the sun rises. That gives only 7 hours in bed, but you're exhausted from heavy physical work of the day. Even so, the suffocating heat doesn't let you rest properly. During spring and fall, you live in eternal adaptation. Your body never completely gets used to schedules because they constantly change as days get longer or shorter. You develop chronic fatigue, a constant feeling that you never rested enough. But this is normal. Everyone lives in this state of permanent exhaustion. And even so, you give thanks every morning for having woken up alive for another day. When you get sick during the night, medieval solutions are creative. Headache? You tie a wet cloth very tightly around your forehead. So tight it cuts circulation and leaves a purple mark that takes days to disappear. Stomach ache? You drink a mixture of bitter herbs boiled in dirty water. The taste is so terrible you vomit, and everyone thinks vomiting is a sign the cure is working. High fever? They put you in a bathtub of ice water in the middle of the night. You shiver uncontrollably for an hour, but everyone believes this will break the fever. For back pain caused by the haybed, the solution is sleeping on the hard floor for a few nights. The logic is that if soft hay is causing pain, then something harder will cure it. You spend 3 nights lying directly on packed earth, waking up with your whole body sore and cold. On the 4th day, when you return to hay, it seems incredibly comfortable by comparison. For insomnia, which is super common with all this discomfort, you take valerian tea mixed with sour wine. The combination makes you dizzy and nauseous, but eventually you pass out from exhaustion. For recurring nightmares, they put an iron cross under your pillow and make you sleep with garlic in your mouth. You wake up with metallic taste and unbearable breath. But everyone guarantees demons won't bother you anymore. And if you snore too loud and bother the entire shared bed, they tie a string to your toe that goes through a pulley in the ceiling. When you snore, someone pulls the string to wake you up. You spend the night waking up scared every time you start snoring, but at least others can sleep. After waking up in this symphony of discomfort, you need to clean yourself to start the day. Brushing teeth means chewing an oak branch until it forms filaments, then rubbing those filaments on teeth with circular movements. The branch leaves a bitter wood taste in your mouth, but at least removes some food remains. Sometimes you mix coarse salt with dry herbs and rub this mixture on teeth with your finger. The sensation is like brushing teeth with sand, but it leaves a mint taste that disguises morning breath. Taking a bath is a rare and special event. Most people take a complete bath only once a month, if that. On most days, you just wash your face and hands in a basin with cold water. This water is the same the whole family uses, so when your turn comes, it already has a layer of dirt floating on the surface. You wet a rough cloth in the dirty water and quickly pass it over your face, trying not to think about where that dirt spreading on your skin comes from. To wash hair, you pour a mug of cold water on your head, and scrub with your hands. There's no shampoo. You use wood ashes mixed with animal fat that make a strange, stinky foam. After rinsing, your hair has a weird texture, kind of sticky, that takes hours to dry completely. And even so, after all this morning ritual, you still smell like sweat, hay, and animals. Because everyone smells like this, nobody complains. You dress in the same clothes from yesterday, comb your hair with a wooden comb that pulls out some strands in the process, and you're ready for another medieval day. The important thing is, you survived another night. And that, honestly, is already a great achievement. So, how are you feeling right now in your modern bed? I bet your mattress never seemed so comfortable, right? If you managed to get through this bizarre journey through medieval sleep, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And tell me in the comments, which part impressed you most? The haybed full of bugs? The anti-demon rituals? Or the fact that everyone slept together? I'll read all the comments, promise. While you settle in now in your clean bed, with soft sheets and pillows without lice, think for a moment about this journey we took together. 700 years ago, someone exactly like you was trying to sleep in a stinky haybed, sharing space with 5 people, praying not to be visited by demons during the night. That person had the same fears as you. Fear of darkness, fear of nightmares, fear of not being able to sleep. But they faced those fears without electricity, without medicine, without the comfort you have now. Today you complain if the Wi-Fi is slow, if the air conditioning made too much noise, if the mattress is a little too soft. In the Middle Ages, getting a night without fleas was already cause for infinite gratitude. So, while you close your eyes in your silent room, without rats running on the wall, without demons prowling your bed, without the smell of animals mixed with human sweat, remember that you're living a luxury that medieval kings couldn't even dream of. Your soft pillow is a miracle of modern technology. Your clean blanket is a gift humanity took centuries to create. Your individual and silent room is a privilege our ancestors would consider impossible. And now, as you fall asleep in this unimaginable comfort, think with gratitude about this modern life that allows you to sleep in peace. Dream of green fields, starry skies, freedoms you have and don't even notice. And when you wake up tomorrow, remember for a second how good it is to have survived another night. Not because demons tried to steal your soul, but simply because you had the privilege of existing in an era when sleeping well is possible. Good night. Sleep well. You deserve it. Sweet dreams from the comfort of the 21st century.